afternoon. Welcome back to Monday Motivation with my good friend, Dr. Serena H. Chen, a colleague of mine from IRMS in Livingston, New Jersey. I'm Alice Creasy, co-founder and CEO of MetaAnswers, creator of the Fertility Answers app platform. Now, there's seemingly nothing else going on in the world right now beyond coronavirus. We know this, right? It has become pretty difficult to go about life as usual when never in our lifetimes, I don't think, Serena, have you or I ever seen whole cities in different countries locked down. But we've seen containment for Ebola. We've seen containment, we've seen pregnant women leave cities to protect pregnancies from Zika. We've never witnessed something like this before.
So, I hate to say now, I remember vaguely right?
It didn't. We felt so protected.
Yeah, it seemed like some big news far away, and now people are really feeling it here, although there's a lot of reassuring data in the United States, despite the fact that they are identifying more cases and they are doing more travel restrictions. I think there's still a lot of things that are reassuring about the situation in the United States. Now, I don't want to belittle what's going on at all, but I do think it is important to remember that healthy people, pregnant women, and children do not appear to be susceptible to getting a severe case of the virus. It looks like the deaths so far in the United States and have been people who are already very, very, very vulnerable to viruses anyway, which are the elderly with something we like to call comorbidities, which usually is stuff like you already have a chronic lung disease, you already have
like COPD or
lung cancer,
exactly.
You're on chemotherapy, you have heart failure. So really, like if you have a serious underlying illness, it does increase your risk of death, honestly, from any infection, and coronavirus is no exception to that.
Now, it does look like your level of exposure, though, makes a difference, too, because we do have healthy first responders who have succumbed to coronavirus. That seems to be more related, no underlying health conditions, to the level of exposure.
Massive
when they've been
yes,
exactly, which no average person would ever have that level of inoculation. Certainly not with whole festivals like South by Southwest being canceled. And those really big public environments where you could have just extreme amounts of viral kind of passage from person to person. Now, I also was reading that that people aren't really showing symptoms until about 5 days after they've been exposed.
Right.
Is what I read recently.
I think a lot of people get really crazy about that because they're just thinking everybody around them has cooties and they're going to get it. But
exactly.
The thing is, when you're asymptomatic, you're not really shedding as much.
Yeah,
okay?
Right.
Remember, this virus can only attach to respiratory epithelium, which people get confused about. People think it's in the air and they're going to breathe it and then they're going to get sick. But what happens is when people cough or sneeze, if they're ill or they're shedding virus, the virus can live on surfaces for about a week. And we are touching surfaces all the time.
All the time.
And then we are touching our faces. And the ports of entry are the mouth, the nose, and the eyes, because the mucous membranes in the eyes are attached to the nose and eventually lead to the oropharynx. So this goes back to, biology, how everything's connected there. So those are the ports of entry. That's how the virus gets to the respiratory epithelium. It doesn't go through your skin. You can't really breathe like somebody who's in another room, and then if you breathe the same air, it's not airborne.
Right. It's literally just leave your face alone. That's why washing your hands, makes such is the most important thing, and the hand sanitizer's out, but they say soap and water for 20 seconds is better anyway.
Soap and water is really the number one best way to sanitize your hands. Hand sanitizer is only helpful if you don't have good, easy access to a sink.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
Soap.
Right.
And we're seeing these crazy things where people are like just buying out all the hand sanitizer. Meanwhile, there's tons of soap in the stores.
Yes.
Right. It doesn't totally make sense. And this run in the grocery stores maybe is because the CDC told people at risk that they should be prepared to stay home. So if you have severe heart disease, the CDC doesn't want you going out. They want you to have your healthy relative or your healthy friend go to the grocery store for you instead of you going out. So there is some advice on the CDC website about making sure you have supplies to be able to stay at home if you are vulnerable to coronavirus, but not really for people who are healthy. Okay.
Right.
So this run on the grocery stores doesn't really make